let's go to our meditation session for the day. And today we are going to do the 17th meditation. It's going to be a verse from Keno Upanishad. I have given some introduction in the past. The reason why I take Upanishads is because I want all the seekers to understand that the source of this knowledge, whatever we are studying in our sessions, the source is Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita. The source for Atma, there is a pure consciousness, and this pure consciousness is of this nature. The source is only the Upanishads, the primary source. Even the Bhagavad Gita has taken the source from the Upanishads. And I want, after introduction of Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, I wanted to give that introduction. Therefore, I started this meditation sessions because ultimately our real knowledge comes about Atma from this Upanishads. Today we are going to see the Keno Upanishad, the first mantra of the Keno Upanishad. Keno Upanishad is a small Upanishad. It is not like Chandogya or Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. I will be doing this Upanishad along with Kaivalya Upanishad when I teach the Upanishad section. The first mantra is a very popular mantra in the Upanishads. Very popular because it tells how a seeker thinks and how he comes into the spiritual field. As all of us are amazed by our body, are truly amazed with the mind and with the universe. So the first realization is, wow, what a world is this? And then what happens, the seeker has a question in his mind. He says the mind is thinking, by whom build it, or who is directing this mind? Am I directing the mind? Is God directing the mind? Is there a power the mind has? How one mind is connected with another mind? How do I get in touch with my wife and children? How do they come into contact with my mind in my life? Is there a total mind which connects all the minds according to the prarabdha karma? Is there a total power which connects each soul, each jiva with another jiva? Is there some power? If that power is there, it must be a tremendous power. How does the mind project so many thoughts in a day? And it's a continuous phenomena. A battery life, we know, mobile battery charges, you have to charge every day. My mind has got a power which is never ending. The power of the mind is amazing. So what is that light of the mind? What is the power behind the mind? That is the first question. Then I look at myself, I'm breathing. All throughout the life, I'm breathing. Is there a power which controls this breath? Who controls this breath? Is there an inner controller? These are the questions asked by a student in the first verse of the Upanishad. I'm able to speak. The moment I get up in the morning, I can talk. When I go to sleep, I just don't even know that I can speak. And I can speak straight away without any connection, what is that power behind my speech? What intelligence directs the eyes and the ears towards the objects? If I'm doing some work, suddenly I listen to some music. What is that power which tells me, listen to this? What is the power it says, drop this? this is not a good, this music is not good. This all happening in split seconds. All this power belongs to pure consciousness. All belongs to this divine consciousness called as Atma. But this Atma is unseen, cannot be seen by the sense organs. And that is that awareness which I must bring to my knowledge. That is that power. It is aprameya. Aprameya means it is not objectified by the five sense organs. Therefore, it is called as the subject. Therefore, it is called as the self. It is called Atma. It's like the electricity which is behind the bulb, behind the mic, behind the fan. The energy behind the bulb, fan, or the mic is this power called as electricity. Behind this body and the mind and the whole universe, the universe is, if you look outside by God, the earth is in tremendous motion. The stars are exploding. You know, what type of power it will be? You can imagine unlimited, limitless power. This entire power is one power, which is the consciousness. In that consciousness, the whole world is coming, it's resting, it's supported by that consciousness. Again, it goes back. Again, it comes out. Again, it goes back. This question and the answer given to that by the teacher is the entire study of this Keno Upanishad. So who lights up the mind, how breath functions in the body, what intelligence directs the eyes and ears to the objects, the vitalizing principle is what is the question. The question is all about the matter and the mind, which is not sentient, it is insentient. It is a vehicle for the soul to experience joy and sorrow. It is also called as the ego I. That means the body mind is the ego I, the reflected consciousness. Just now we have studied. In Drigdrishya Viveka, we have just covered the portion of Atma. You can easily link that portion of Drigdrishya Viveka with this verse, the first verse of Keno Upanishad, which talks of the big I, the Paramarthika Satya, that pure Atma, the sentient, this knowing principle. How do I know? How do I think? The thinker in me is the consciousness. The knower in me is the consciousness. The sentient principle in me is the consciousness. The table is not conscious. I am conscious. I can say I am conscious. I don't need anything to know myself. To know somebody else, I have to open my eyes and see. But to know myself, are you there? Yes, I am there. When I say yes, I am there, I exist. I exist, I am conscious is a fact for all of us. We don't require anything to know that I exist. Even in sleep, I know I exist. I am there, I am conscious, but I need a mind to say I am conscious. I need a mind, I need a mouth to say I was there in sleep. That divine spark is the Atma. That is what the teacher teaches to the student. The principle of perception is that my Atma shines in the mind. Then the mind flows through the sense organ and reaches the sound, reaches the objects. This is exactly what we have seen in Drigdrishya Viveka from verse number 1 to verse number 5. How does perception happen? It is explained in in the Keno Upanishad and in Drishya Viveka. Same principle. That means consciousness wakes up the mind first. The mind wakes up the sense organs. The sense organs start seeing the sense objects. The creator of the sense objects is the Lord of creation. Why he created, what is the purpose of creation? So that the jivas can come, take bodies, enjoy sorrow and pleasure, and again take another body, enjoy joy and sorrow. Or people like us, we try to learn this entire creation process and understand that we are that pure consciousness. So with this theory of perception in his mind, the student asks, what is the power behind the mind? What is the dynamic vital force behind the breath? Then the teacher says that we are all this unpolluted, undiminished, unmodified. 3 words to describe the reality, to describe that pure consciousness. Unpolluted, that means it's ever pure. Undiminished, that means it's not like it reduces its power yesterday and comes back, then it has to get recharged. No, undiminishing power. Unmodified, it never changes. This power remains the same. I had this power when I was 5 years old, 10 years old. I will be having the power, the same power. Only thing is, when this power, the body goes away, I remain as that power, but I don't die. I, that power, am immortal. So the greatest of the yogis who have learned, who is a yogi? All of us, we do yoga. A yogi is one who has learned to control his body. Yogi is one who has learned to control his sense organs. Yogi is one who has learned to control his mind. These 3 aspects we have all done in the yoga programs. What does Vedanta teach us? Vedanta teaches us this yogi, after having controlled the body, sense organs, and the mind, he meets the Lord in his private apartment, that is the hall of consciousness. And this knowledge of what this consciousness, what this Lord is made of, is described in the rest of the Keno Upanishad. That description we have already seen in Drishya Viveka. Pure consciousness is always existing without the body, mind, and the world. Paramarthika Satya. So this is a beautiful verse connecting Drishya Viveka, the sensory perception, with the consciousness. I thought it is very apt to learn this Upanishadic mantra, which is the main source for the Drishya Viveka. The whole text is written based on this particular verse. Okay, let's experience a little bit about our pure nature. Let's close our eyes. I am the pure, formless consciousness. I don't need the body or mind to know myself. I am ever self-evident. Atma is my real nature. Drik, the seer. The hearer. The thinker. During the waking state, I am a limited jiva. Through my power, the mind thinks. I am behind the ears, behind the tongue. The waker I is called as Vyavaharika Satyam. The truth in a transactional field. It is the dress I wear during my waking state for playing the different roles. I have the power to create the dream. The dreamer I is not my real nature. I also have the power to drop the dreamer I and remain as a sleeper I. The sleeper I is also incidental. Not my real nature. I without the roles of the waker, dreamer, and the sleeper. I'm called Atma. This is my true nature. This is the pure state of awareness. The disturbance in this awareness is called the waking. Dream or sleep. I, the pure awareness, am not affected by the three conditions of the mind. Waking, dream, and sleep. I am the witness, Sakshi. Om Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. let's see if there are any questions. There are two questions in the chat room. One is from Amyanchu. In sleep state, it is a Paramatma with knowledge. It is Paramatma with knowledge. However, practically it is without knowledge while in sleep. Yes, you're right, Amyanchu. Hence, we are in ignorance. How to come out of that ignorance while in sleep? Or how to be in knowledge while in sleep? No, it's not possible. Okay, it's not possible. That the sleep state is common experience for all of us. Nobody can change the sleep state because the knowledge is only in the waking state. Your knowledge cannot be in the dream state. It cannot be in the sleep state. Knowledge is always in the waking state. It is an understanding of the intellect only. Even after knowledge, a jnani, for example, he will have a sound sleep. The sleep condition is a biological condition of the body. It is a condition common to all human beings, living beings. So your question, whether I can have that knowledge in sleep, no, it's not possible. It is only in the conscious mind, in the waking state, we can have that knowledge. And this knowledge is enough for us to remove sorrow. The aim of the Upanishad is to tell us in the waking state, you're not the body and you're not the mind. The dream and the sleep states are just brought into the student's mind to understand that there is a common principle between the three states. There is one underlying substratum which doesn't change. Chandogya Upanishad says that you are with Paramatma in the sleep state. It is a knowledge coming from the Upanishads. That knowledge, a jiva applies that knowledge in the waking state. It is a pure understanding. And with that understanding, I can remain as that pure state of mind. Even in my waking, I can remain. The dream and sleep states is not under the control of the jivas. So I hope I can answer the question. I have answered the question. So the ignorance is removed. The ignorance part of it is in the intellect of the waking jiva. That ignorance is removed. Once the ignorance is removed, then what happens is the identification of the jiva with the mind gets reduced. The impact of the mind in the waking state, it becomes less and less, and the knowledge of the Atma comes into the mind of a seeker more and more. This is how the change happens in a jiva. Very gradually it happens, but it happens. As I learn from the scriptures in a systematic, consistent study, the intellect learns to understand that it is the Atma, and this removes the covering, removes the ajnanam, that avarna shakti of the Maya. Mind is nothing but Maya. That mind has got three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. The tamas is responsible for the covering of Atma. So the tamas aspect is slowly reduced. And what happens is the jiva comes to realize that I am not this mind or the body, I am that Atma. The projections of the jiva, the projections of the mind, the vikshepa shakti of the Maya three gunas that gets reduced. Vikshepa Shakti, when it gets reduced, the revelation of that Atma becomes much, much more intense. This is a gradual process of the mind becoming more mature. It's like you cannot teach a child that this is what is life. Child's mind is not mature enough. Similarly, we are children in spiritual study. The more we study, we become more mature. We learn more about our mind. We learn more about Atma. Every text we do, it goes deeper and deeper into our conscious mind. We learn how to go deeper into our own self. And the two aspects of the Maya Shakti, they both become completely evident to me. When the mind throws up tantrums, I become totally aware. When the mind becomes tired, I become aware. These are the changes, the transformations which happen. Dr. Surendra Goyal, he is asking, in the deep sleep we have dreams. Is the dreams are messages from the Supreme or just imaginations? It cannot be, it is not an imagination as we see in our waking state. The imaginations which are there in the waking state are different than the imaginations in the dream state. They are not called as imaginations, they are called as vasana. The projection of vasana is not willful, it is not, they are very similar in nature. In waking state, when I imagine, there are two types of imaginations. One is willful imagination. I imagine, oh, my childhood was like this, I spent with my father. These are all called memories. These are bringing back the memories, old memories, one type of imagination. The second is, I start planning for the future. I imagine I'm going to win a lottery ticket. If I win that $1 million in a lottery ticket, I'm going to go to Switzerland the next day. This is an imagination. This type of imagination doesn't happen in dream. It is purely vasana based. It is not under my control. It is throwing up of the impressions. Automatically it happens. From the Karana Shariram, there are certain impressions which get exhausted in the dreams. There are certain impressions in the Karana Shariram, causal body, which requires the mind to interact with the world. Those are called as the experiences of the waking state. So it is basically the Karana Shariram, which is a source for both waking and dream. The dream are basically vasana based impressions which get thrown out, which get exhausted. For example, one type of dream I experience, it's gone, finished. Generally, I don't experience the same dream again and again and again and again. Generally, I mean, of course, there are some bad dreams which people do have. So I have tried to explain that difference between imagination and what is the vasana based dreams. The next question is there a message from the Supreme for such imaginations? There could be. It is a possibility. I cannot deny that. There are many seekers who have said that so and so happened, something happened in my dream. They take that as the reality, and then they say, okay, fine, now I will conduct my life based on that one experience which I had long, long ago. It is possible that in the subconscious mind, we have certain hidden knowledge which we have never come to know. It could be possible. So the answer to your question, Dr. Surendra, is yes, it is possible that it is a message from the Supreme. For example, some people have heard voices in their dream which says, go and do this. Go and dig that place and you will find the Murti of Hanuman there under the tree. I'm telling you real-time experiences of people in sleep. Somebody had this dream. It happened really. The next day morning, he went to the tree and he asked 4 people to go and dig the place, and then he found the Hanuman idol there. How did it happen? It's reality, it happened. So there could be some supreme messages which come, but it could be true, it need not be true also. That all depends on how the individual takes it. Okay, the next question is from Surya. It says, reflected consciousness varies from person to person based on condition of the mind. Yes. In the case of Jnani, original consciousness is equal to reflected at all times, even in waking state. This is not true because original consciousness is paramarthikam. It is a different level. Reflected consciousness is always mixed with the mind, the subtle mind and the gross body. The reflected consciousness is with the mind, therefore it will not be the same as original consciousness. The moment we say it is reflected consciousness, it means it is the mind. The mind, you're talking about the mind. And this reflected consciousness need not be the same throughout. That is why we say the 3 gunas of the Maya Shakti, they keep on playing in the mind. So the Maya Shakti, which is the creator of the whole universe, is what we experience as part of our mind. This Maya Shakti has got the gunas, Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic, Satvik, Rajasic, Tamasic. And in these 3 gunas, the reflection of the consciousness happens, and this is how the jiva then experiences the state of the mind, of his thoughts. The thoughts keep on coming and going. The thought is what makes the jiva. The reflected consciousness, the original consciousness, they are not, that is an independent process. It's like in front of a mirror, automatically the consciousness will, automatically your face will reflect. But what makes the jiva a jiva is the mind, the thoughts in the mind which erupt in this body. So Surya, I hope I have answered your question. Is there any other question from anybody else in the group?
Speaker ji,
Bolo, why?
can we say the causes of the dream is vasana?
Yes, it is vasana. The dream is nothing but vasana eruption. Like the volcanic eruption, your dream is nothing like, it's just the thought impressions which are there in your body. Whatever is the thought impressions, it just comes out. That is what is called as vasanas. That is what is called as the dream. Whereas in the waking state, the same vasana is there. It comes up, but then it interacts with the mind and the sense organs. Whereas in the case of a dream, the vasanas, they just are impressions which are just blown out, which is only a projection, where the sense organs are not involved. This is the basic difference between the waking and the dream. When the sense organs are involved, together with the vasanas, we call it waking. And when the sense organs are closed,
But
yeah, Baba.
but at times we never request for dreams, but they come automatically. How? What is that?
Yes, most of the time it is automatic only. 99% all dreams are all automatic. Nobody says, I'm going to have this dream today. Even if you, want to dream about something and you say, try to think about that, it doesn't happen. So,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So that's
So
how.
what? So how is it automatically crossed in the dream?
That is the power of
It
Ishvara.
doesn't happen to you. Huh?
Yes, it is a power of Ishvara. Like how does the sun rise every day morning? How does the earth is rotating? How the rain is falling? How the birth takes place of a jiva inside a particular body? How does the jiva come into your life as your son? All these are all inexplicable. These are all the Shakti of Maya. This is the power of that. And this is, we say it's the Shakti of Maya, which is Ishvara at the beginning stage. So this is how you can explain dreams. Yeah, any other question? Okay. Thank you very much. In case the others don't have any questions, then we'll close for the day. We'll meet next week on the next session of the Drisha Viveka. Let's see if we can complete it next week or we require one more week. I'll decide next week. And then I will check if people are interested in learning the Gita. Okay, thank you and good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.